Australian megastar and pop icon, although she's lived in the UK quite a lot. She is the best-selling female Australian artist ever, and she's known in Europe as the Princess of Pop. So her first big public exposure was in the TV show, the soap opera Neighbours, where she played a character called Charlene Robinson. And I saw the first episode that she was in, and I remember it well. The storyline that she had was a love story with a character called Scott, who was played by Jason Donovan, and out of that spawned some at least one song that was Kylie and Jason. It launched her pop career under the production of Stock Aitken and Waterman, who also created people like Rick Astley with his Never Want to Give You Up. That's so famous for Rick Rolling. She lulled a bit in the late 90s and then reinvented herself as a dance pop sexy image in the early 2000s. She was famously open about her struggle with breast cancer and created a particular rise in people getting tested and self-testing for breast cancer. And she has created 15 studio albums. Hi, my name's Dan. So this is a review of Kylie Minogue's newest album, which is called Tension, which was released on the 22nd of September, I believe, if I've written that down right. And we're about 5-6 weeks away from that. So it's not been out very long. It already has an extensive Wikipedia page, so there's quite a lot of stuff to dig into if you want to find out about the album. So most of the reviews on this channel are of a series of albums that, according to the acclaimed music website, are the 3,000 greatest albums of all time, and I'm working my way up from the bottom to the top, but occasionally I step out of that and go off-piste, and some of those are new releases, and so that's one of these, or this is one of those. And yeah, so here we are. So let's talk about the album. So in the stuff that I've read about this album, I know that it's deliberately a non-thematic album, in the sense that her previous two albums were thematic and had a consistent theme to them. This is meant to be more of a hodgepodge, and I think it's true to say that it is that. It's quite varied. It's musically, I would definitely describe this as dance pop. And it references lots of different shades of that. There's within those boundaries, there's quite a bit of variety here. There are some that I felt like I could kind of say where there's some very specific influence coming in. So the track One More Time, certainly at the beginning, has a very Daft Punk sound to it. The track Green Light reminded me strongly of Moloko. Some of them sound more like kind of 90s girl band dance stuff, so the sort of thing that Destiny's Child might have done on their dancier stuff. The title track Tension is more modern than most of the rest of them, and so this includes some of the kind of tropes that happen quite a lot these days. So there's very obvious auto-tune in there, and there's bits of places where the last syllable of a word is repeated a couple of times. So one I picked out is the word chili, and the chili, and something, and the blue, etc. That's very kind of, definitely post 2000. There's, as I said, there's quite a variety. The album seems to be being hailed as a strong album by critics. And I feel that there are, good qualities here, but I've got some reservations as well. Thematically, a lot of this is about relationships, and particularly about sex. It's quite kind of upfront. It's not graphic, but it's quite, clear what she's talking about. There's quite a bit about new relationships and starting out relationships. There's also quite a bit about casual relationships as well. In terms of the songs, one of my favourite songs probably is the first song, Padam Padam, which is a great title because it's reflecting the sound of a heartbeat, and that's what it's meant to be. The theme is about picking somebody up in a club, so I like the song, but I'm not so keen on the theme personally. And I think overall I was somewhat disappointed, I'm afraid. I think possibly that this is because I've been spoiled by the fact that my favourite Kylie song is I Can't Get You Out My Head, which is from quite a while ago now. And there's no, to my mind, huge bangers like that in here. I know that she's done something that's pretty unique in that she's still effectively playing at being a teenager, despite the fact that she's now, by my calculations, 52. I'm a little less convinced now than I have been in the past by that. But I think that's... there's something about the quality of the voice on this album that it doesn't remind me quite so much of Kylie from previous albums that I've always, had this kind of endearing quality to it. There's less smile in her voice. So it sounds, I don't know, it sounds like it's been quite processed vocally. Maybe this is just me griping because stylistically not a lot of the tracks really appeal that much to me. I mean, I'd say the strength in the songwriting here, there's certainly strength in the production. It's quite interesting. I've got a couple more things that I want to chuck in that are minor complaints that I've got, though. So the album's quite short at 35 minutes. I'm not sure that that's a huge problem, but I just kind of got the feeling, looking at the listing of the standard album, the deluxe album, and the bonus deluxe edition, which is at 53 minutes, which is, I know albums come in at shorter than that, but I just get the feeling that they're pushing for the deluxe to be the new standard, and they're expecting most people will get the deluxe or the bonus deluxe, and so they've pulled back the standard album so that they can charge more effectively. And I just feel a bit like it's maybe slightly cynical in that sense. The other thing that seems a bit odd to me is that the tracks seem quite short. Now, they're all kind of somewhere between 2.5 and 3, and maybe edging up to 4 for one of the tracks. But given that it's dancey, I felt like some of these grooves, you don't really get the chance to get into them for a long time. I feel basically that it's an album of remix fodder, and that it's been put out there, and then they're expecting, or commissioning presumably, remixes that are going to be quite considerably longer for club use, etc. And I think that it's fair that some of this music is kind of destined for club use rather than for sitting down and listening to as an album and going, I wouldn't know what I feel about this. So as an album for listening to, I do have mixed feelings. I think mostly that's because it's not what I was hoping for from a new album by Kylie. So that's what I think. It's still got a reasonable score. I'm not going to ask anybody to turn it off if I hear it, but I'm not, seeking it out again particularly. So that's what I think. I'd love to know what you think. I certainly seem to have taken a different take from most critics on this album. So if you think this is a classic and I've missed the point, please talk to me through the comments box and tell me why. If you've got any other opinions on it, please. I love the discussions that we get going. That's it from me for now.
I know your star sign, what's on your bedside. Got the ability to read your mind. Let's make it happen, just like we imagined. Let's get expressive, we can take our